Okay. Couple prefaces. Number one, if this looks dark, we're sorry. Our house is actually really bright right now, and it looked like the windows over here, and it looks like half of our faces were just like illuminated, which is kind of sweet, but whatever.
It's a little moody.
The second preface is we're back with an unfiltered, slightly unedited video. We may include a few little overlay videos of some things that Tori did for me, but unedited, just a real raw combo. Tori and I got into a conversation last night, and if you are new here, first off, this is Tori, I'm Chad.
First and foremost.
Oh yeah, we got to welcome him. My bad.
Welcome back.
My bad.
To our channel.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So where was I with that? Tori and I, yes, the prefaces. Tori and I frequently like to post these unfiltered, unedited conversations where it just feels like we're sitting on the couch talking, or better yet, sitting on the floor talking.
On Micah's playmat.
Micah's playmat. And we just kind of share just kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
And so Tori and I are starting with a new, I guess you would call him like a financial planner. He's my friend. His name is Mark Parrott, and he has a company called Outpost Advisors, and he also has a nonprofit called Abraham's Wallet, which is like everything financial intelligence and biblical stewardship. Yeah. And so Tori and I have been wanting to like better steward things. And he is a friend of mine, and so we're getting started. And it's like, it's literally from A to Z. It's not just, oh yeah, put your money in the stock market. No, it's like, where is God calling you as a family to serve his kingdom? And we got started with like part one of this whole series of questions of kind of discovering our vision and our mission for us.
Our family,
and we just felt that this would be so good for us to share with you all.
Yeah.
You don't have to be married. You don't have to be dating. You could be yourself. Where has God called you right now to build his kingdom? Yeah. And use your resources, whatever they may be, for his kingdom. And so there's a few questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we got on the first call, and Chad is definitely more of like the financial person in our relationship.
Gurus, you would say.
And so I was honestly just expecting to hop on the call and be like, okay, this is great. Let's spot our finances, la la la, this is Chad's lane. But he started asking us these questions, and I had no idea that I was gonna get so emotional on this call. I mean, I like literally broke down into tears because of these questions, and they really like got to the heart of the bigger question of why. And I feel like when you truly understand your vision, your mission, and what you want, it infiltrates every area of your life, and you pursue everything that you do differently. And so this is not like a financial video at all, but the questions that he asked us really like changed some of my perspective on a lot of different things. And so literally we got off the call and we were like, we need to share these questions on YouTube because I feel like they're gonna really impact your life as well.
Yeah, they're definitely heart piercers where they really like kind of shake you up out of the kind of cultural norm of like, I'm working 9 to 5, or I'm in school taking this many credit hours, or I have date night on Thursday, or whatever that may be. All those things are great, but this kind of forces you to think about why you do what you do.
The bigger picture.
And actually, it's so funny. This is happening live. I thought that we're going to talk about the questions from last night.
No, I'm
you
talking
mean
about
the questions from like
the beginning.
From the first week?
Yeah.
Okay, so
call.
we may even do it. If you guys like this, we may even do a second unfiltered on the 3 questions we answered last night. Remember those?
Which?
Remember the ones we talk about where you feel like you've been invested in?
Oh, yeah.
That's where
I was talking about the first call.
Perfect. The ones where Tori cried in. So expect a juicy thumbnail. She cried. Anyways, good. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Okay. No. Okay.
You can't edit it out.
I have a love-hate relationship with these videos.
Okay, you got it.
Okay, so we get on the phone, and the first question he actually made, if you're a couple watching this right now, and I know there's some couples out there who do watch our channel, encourage y'all to get a piece of paper out and actually ask yourself, like pause the video, whatever, ask yourself these questions, write your answers down, and don't let your significant other see it. And then after the 3 questions, go back and just see where y'all are at with them, because it was a really fun activity for Chad and I to do. So the first question was, you wake up tomorrow and you have all the money in the world that you might need. what would your life look like? We're not talking like
crazy
$1 billion kind of thing, but like dream big. You have the money you need. What would your life look like? What would your life feel like? What would you do with that money, etc.? So
and you write down everything.
Yeah, write down everything. Allow yourself to dream. Okay, do that. But then the next question, and he gave us 5 minutes, so that's why I say like pause the video if you want to actually do this exercise. The second question is, you go to the doctor tomorrow and you got good news and you got bad news. The good news is, for the next 5 years, you will experience perfect health. You will not get sick. You will not get injured. Perfect health for the next 5 years. But anywhere between 5 years and 10 years, you will just
kick rocks. You'll
gone.
Just poof.
Like one day, you're just, an accident happens and you're in heaven.
Yeah.
And you have the same resources that you have today. So same money in the bank right now.
Yeah.
What would you do if you knew you have perfect health for the next 5 years, but then anywhere from 5 to 10 years, you're just gonna.
Yeah.
What would you do? How would you live? How would you steward your money? Would you work really hard, or instead would you travel, or would you do this, or would you do that? Take 5 minutes, write it down, process it, and think about it. The next question is, you go to the doctor tomorrow and there's only bad news. You have one day. And this is not like a, what would you do on your last day? Like, make it the most adventurous thing ever. It's like, truly, like, think about, would I regret, like, the way I'm living right now? Would I have wished I would have done this, etc.? And this one, like, as a mom, really, really hit me hard, especially because Micah's like so young. Because like genuinely, I don't know if he would remember me, and like I wouldn't have time to prepare him. Every time thinking about it, just like it really gets me. But I'm not trying to make this dark at all. But it's like, man, I wish I had more time to prepare my family for my absence. And it just like made me think about how, like, because the previous question for me personally, I was like, man, I would want to write Chad notes. I would want to write Micah notes for like all of these different seasons and stages that they were going to have to walk through without me there. So that they could open different letters at different points, and it would still like, I would still have like an imprint all these seasons. But then the third question was like, man, I just feel like I didn't have time to do that.
Yeah.
And it really just got me thinking a lot. I mean, so much more than just like what we want to do with our finances, which it did impact that as well. But like how I want to live my day-to-day life in my family, like how I actually want to be more present, how I don't want to wish certain seasons away, how I want to invest in friends and invest in organizations, like just so many different things. I just feel like if you really give yourself the time and the space to answer those questions and talk to Jesus about your responses, it could genuinely change the way you live on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I saw a quote the other day on Instagram, and I'm not saying I subscribe to this quote, but it really did make me think. The quote said that in 30 years, you will be willing to give up anything that you have to be exactly where you are right now. And so it really kind of hit me. It's like, oh wow, like you do see people in their older ages where it's just like they miss that youthful, like just excitement and joy and being willing to tackle things. There's nothing wrong with getting older. I'm not saying that you want to just pursue youth, but it was just to make sure that we're actually not wishing away our life, and we're just living for the next season, and we're being present right where we are, and we're not just like being upset by what God isn't doing in our life. Like, why isn't God got me into that school? Why isn't God got me that relationship or that better job or healed this thing? Like, I'm not saying those things don't matter. I'm saying that we can still find joy in this present moment, because of course we don't want to get 20, 30 years down the road and look back and be like, wow, I did not embrace my time back then.
Yeah.
And again, I think these questions that Mark was asking us, and it's not that there's a perfect answer, it's just it really makes you do some soul searching.
Yeah.
And I think we all could spend some time doing some soul searching. I feel like because of these things, we literally can just scroll our life away. And I'm the chief king of this. Like, I love all my golf YouTubers. I'm a old school YouTube fan, so I still check to see when Casey Nesta uploads. You know what I mean? Like, we all have our stuff that's in our daily routines, and I'm not saying that those are evil. What I'm saying is make sure that you're not just keeping up with life, that you forget to live it.
Yeah.
And asking yourself some deep questions, and there's probably even 1,000 more questions like that.
Yeah.
That can really, like what Tori said, shake you up a little bit and be like, oh wow, like wait a second, I'm not like doing what I want to do. Because that first question, if you had like not infinite money, but if you had the resources to do what you wanted to do, what would you do?
Yeah.
And then it makes you think, okay, if this is what I would want to do if I didn't have a lack of resources, why am I not pursuing, why are my actions not leading to things that would help me do that and love well by doing that, you know? And so, like for me, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, if one of my goals is, I don't know if we may cut this out. If one of Tori and I's goals is to pay for people to have adoptions, if that's one of our family goals, because we have no idea why it costs so much, why are we not stewarding and saving in a way to do that? Why are my actions saying, oh yeah, Uber Eats, oh yeah, Uber Eats, oh yeah, Uber Eats, when you look back after a year, it's like, wow, we could have really put a dent and helped somebody with that cost.
Yeah.
But it's like, if this is what I really want to do, and this is how I want to serve, and this is how I want to like love people, why is this not leading to that?
Yeah, and I think it comes down to intentionality. Like, when you have a vision for your life, and then you have vision for your finances, then you have vision for your time. Because, oh, okay, I have an hour to kill, and then you scroll and you realize how fast that hour goes. Or you have vision and you have a goal, but you have actionable steps to actually reach that goal. Oh, sweet, I have an hour. I'm going to do this, this, and this to help me actually reach that goal. And it's the vision comes first, and then the intentionality behind like what you want to do, and then putting together a plan and actionable steps to actually get there. I don't remember the quote where it's like, a dream is a dream because it's just like out there, right? But then when a dream becomes a goal and you put actionable steps, and it actually is like how dreams become reality. But it takes having the vision, having the purpose, having your why so strong that it infiltrates everything, and it makes you like aware of the gift of time. And I also too, like one thing I was just thinking about as you were talking was, I think that we just live in a society that it's like we are chasing after like peace and contentment in all the wrong places. Because even with these questions, I don't want you guys to think like, oh, well, if I had enough resources and money, then I would do all these things, right? No, like that's not the point of those questions. The point is we have to find, like, that's why he like gives you unlimited resources and he pulls you back to reality. Like, oh, these are my big dreams and goals and vision, but then how am I going to actually get there with the limited resources and time that I currently have? And I think that that makes you really like focus in on what is the most important and what is like the driving force behind what you do and why you do it. And so I don't want to make this video really long because I genuinely want y'all to get off of this video right now and like shut down your devices and get out a piece of paper and like throw on some worship music and have some time with Jesus, have some time with your significant other or a good friend of yours that will like keep you accountable to this. And like, I just want this video to like stir up conversation in your heart and your mind with God, with friends, with family, etc. And just like see, I don't know, see where it leads.
Yeah, I think that just in order to close out, piggybacking off what you're saying, is like that middle question of like, okay, you're guaranteed like an awesome 5 years, but then somewhere between that 5 and 10 year mark, you know, and it's just like, I know that in that 5 years I wrestled with what I want to do, but it made me think about treating my time with so much more value, and to on one hand not let the little things bother me, you know, the things that just ruin your day, because you only have so many more days left. Well, guess what?
We only have so many
more days left.
Yeah.
And whether it's 5, 10, 15, Lord willing, it's 100, but it's one of those things, we only have so many more days left. And it's like, are we doing the things that God has put on our hearts? Or are we just kind of existing? And that's not like, I like to say this a lot because I just want to preface, I'm not calling you out. I'm calling all of us up.
Yeah.
And to make sure that we're just not getting stuck with the mundane. But on the other hand, it was this idea of like, okay, I stop sweating the small things, but I also just treat my time with that really valuable thing where it's like, I'm really present. I'm really like listening to people. I'm really like there. And I think that that's something that I need to absolutely work on. And there's things that, Lord willing, if we can adopt them right now and we have a long, fruitful life, it'll just make our life so full. And not just looking back and say, why was I scrolling so much? Or
I mean, even Chad and I, now that we have Micah, we look back and we're like, what did we do with all of our time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, genuinely, like, what did we do with all of our time? And I think that we're going to continually say that the more and more children we have, the more and more like life happens. Like, what did we do back then? And I hope that we will say, like, we stewarded our time well.
Yeah.
We invested well. We really like saw people. We were really present and fully there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, is what do you wish people said about you versus what do they actually say? That's of course not just serve people. I mean like serve their idea of you.
Yeah.
But it's like, we hope that when people interact with us, they're like, oh wow, I feel good after talking with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll stop. It's just good food for thought, thought for food. Now I'm hungry. Oh, we don't have to put any overlay footage. We can talk about that in another video.
We'll do a different
video. We'll do a whole nother one.
Okay, we love you guys. We hope this encouraged you, and we'll see you in the next video.
Love you, bye.
Bye.